Police pursuit ends in tragedy. Tonight, 2 young boys are still in the hospital and a toddler is dead after an abduction in Virginia Beach ended with a crash across state lines. This is a look at the scene near the Capitol Beltway in Maryland yesterday morning after Virginia State Police issued an Amber Alert for a 16-month-old girl, a 5-year-old boy, and a 7-year-old boy. Sadly, that little girl died in the crash. Tonight, their father, 36-year-old Dana Plummer, is the one accused of taking them. We've just learned he was released from the hospital this afternoon and booked into the Prince George's County Correctional Center. Stephanie Johnson joins us in the studio after speaking to our legal analyst about the charges he's facing.
Yeah, Dan Plummer faces charges of malicious wounding, parental abduction, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, and domestic abuse. But our legal analyst says 2 charges can be classified as felonies and land Plummer behind bars for several years. After allegedly abducting 3 of his children and stabbing his ex-wife and a young girl multiple times Wednesday night, 36-year-old Dana Plummer could serve years behind bars.
The aggravated malicious wounding charges, of which I understand he has 2 related to the stabbing, those are the 2 most serious charges that he's facing at this time.
13 News Now legal analyst and former Virginia Beach prosecutor Ed Booth says Plummer faces a Class 2 felony because of the 2 counts of malicious wounding charges.
A Class 2 felony is a very serious felony. It carries imprisonment for life or any term not less than 20 years in terms of its statutory minimums and maximums.
Additionally, Booth says Plummer could face a Class 6 felony charge for abduction, which carries up to 5 years behind bars.
So there's a subset of the abduction statute that says that if you abduct your children that you have visitation of and you stay within the Commonwealth of Virginia, it's a misdemeanor. But when you cross over state lines, it becomes a Class 6 felony.
While Plummer could face several years behind bars, his mental state could impact when he goes before a judge. Court documents reveal Plummer has struggled with his mental health in the past. A risk order from March says officers believed he exhibited signs of paranoid schizophrenia. And in April, Plummer agreed to transfer custody of his guns to a relative as directed by police.
If he's determined to be incompetent, and again, this applies to anyone facing a criminal charge who's been evaluated, restoring that person to competency, would be the general next step. Now, there are different paths that this can take, but as I said, that's a 30,000-foot view of competency in criminal courts in Virginia.
As for whether Plummer will face charges in Maryland, Booth says that will be up to prosecutors there. Plummer could also face more charges in Virginia Beach, pending an investigation by police and the Commonwealth's attorney. Stephanie Johnson, 13 News Now. Dan.
Tonight, there are questions as to how troopers began chasing Plummer. Tonight, Marta Berglund is digging deeper into the rules Virginia State Police follows for vehicle pursuits and how troopers make decisions at a moment's notice.
Just to confirm, this is a kidnapping vehicle, is that correct? Felony kidnapping? 10-4. 10-4. Okay, drug on kidnapping, yeah. Authorized to go to Maryland.
That was the moment Virginia State Police supervisors authorized their troopers to follow 36-year-old Dana Plummer into Maryland. It's one decision of many, guided by pages of rules that troopers must follow when deciding if and how to pursue a vehicle. Because Plummer was wanted on felony charges, Virginia State Police were allowed to follow him out of state, but they had to immediately notify Maryland State Police. VSP guidelines also require troopers to quickly consider a number of factors before deciding to chase a suspect. They must keep in mind any potential harm to the suspect, other people and property, while staying alert for any threats from the suspect. Troopers must also consider the seriousness of the crime, the suspect vehicle's speed, and the presence of other vehicles and pedestrians. They're even told to consider the weather. Perhaps the main concern in Thursday's case were the 3 young children in the car with Plummer. VSP's guidelines make no specific mention of how to handle a pursuit if authorities suspect passengers, hostages, or children may be in a vehicle. Marta Berglund, 13 News Now.
Both Virginia and Maryland State Police declined to comment further on the case. Virginia troopers will investigate the pursuit, while Maryland troopers will investigate the crash itself.